fool us. Let's meet the next magician who's messing with P&T.
I do my best to be a showman, but I'm a nerd, a geek. I found solace in the Rubik's Cube. I learned to solve the Rubik's Cube to impress a girl at school, but by the time I'd learned to solve it, she'd forgotten never mentioning it. She accidentally ended up changing my life. Nerds are traditionally misfits. This creates a feedback loop. You spend time alone, use it to acquire useless skills and knowledge. Others can't relate, so you spend more time alone. I owe my career to social anxiety. Like most nerds, I was hugely into science fiction. Now we're all living in what seems like a science fiction novel, so more people can relate to nerdiness. It actually draws them to me. It's also a form of camouflage. With Penn and Teller expecting to see a magician, I think this nerd has a chance.
From Scotland, give it up for Tom Crosbie.
Hi. Lovely to see you. My name's Tom. I want to address the elephant in the room. I'm not a magician. I'm not an illusionist or a mind reader or anything like that. I'm a nerd. It's true. That's what I do. I'm a nerd. What that means is that I collect completely useless skills, and I make them vaguely entertaining. You'll see what I mean over the next couple of minutes. It will feel much longer. But I'm obsessed particularly with the Rubik's Cube. A lot of people can't solve a Rubik's Cube. I think they have friends and social lives. Instead, I created a cube that anyone in the world can solve. Would you like to see it? I thought you might. It's this. Jeez. This is a completely white Rubik's Cube. Surprisingly easy to solve, quite difficult to mix up, if I'm being honest. But a cube needs to be moved 20 times before it's considered properly mixed, and that will put the cube into any one of 43 quintillion combinations. That means that any cube can be solved in 20 moves. It might take a supercomputer to tell you what those moves are, but it can be done, and I love that. For me, that makes it the perfect metaphor for whatever problems you might have going on in life. There's always going to be a solution. You might just have to change the way you look at things. This is an ultraviolet cube. It's a one of a kind. I made it myself. It is horrendously expensive. Please do not tell my mother. I need to get this mixed up. And Brooke, would you mind joining me? Is that okay?
Love to.
Round of applause for Brooke, please. Thank you so much, Brooke.
You're welcome. Happy to help.
Thank you. Can I give this to you? Could you mix it up for me? Move it 20, 30, 40 times, as many as you'd like.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
Now, I'm very lucky. A lot of my best friends in the world come from the cubing community, and there is a cubing community. It's not quite as sad as it sounds.
Okay.
All right, it's as sad as it sounds. That's not the point. If you go to one of those cubing competitions, they have different categories you can compete in. There is the fastest single solve, which is solving one cube, not solving for single people. Just feel like that needs addressing. The fastest one-handed solve, the fastest blindfolded solve. But for me, the most interesting, it's called the fewest moves competition. And the idea behind the fewest moves competition is you get given a mixed-up cube. Thank you, Brooke.
You're welcome.
You can take a seat.
Okay,
That's right. Thank you so much. Round of applause. The idea is you get given a mixed-up cube in a fairly quiet room, and you need to solve it as efficiently as you possibly can. And what that looks like, when I'm solving it at speed, it takes me anywhere from 70, maybe up to 100 moves. Solving it efficiently, anything under 30 is considered competition-worthy. I'm going to try and get anything below 30 for you guys here this evening, but it sort of depends on how much damage Brooke has done. So, fingers crossed. Thanks. And I think that looks cool as heck. Okay, I'll be honest, I've got two different ways I can do this. I've got a really confident 27. I've got a really risky 22.
Go for it!
Go for it, thanks. You know what, I appreciate it. You know what, I'll give it a go. If it goes horribly wrong, we just blame Brooke. That's all right? Good. Full disclosure, under certain lights, you can kind of make out that some of the colors are a little different. Thank you. Because of that, I'm going to do it in a way that I can't see the cube. Basically, excuse my back for the next 30 seconds or so. I'll give this a go. 22 moves. Okay, this is... Let me get this right. 1, 2... Oh, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18... I think I know where I went wrong, if that helps. Should have stayed in Scotland. That was 18, right? 19, 20, 21, 22. Did I say 22? That's a shame. Looks fine. Can we just end there and say it worked? This is always the scariest part, because I don't find out if it's worked until you do. Friends, in a second, I'm going to snap my fingers and we're going to find out if this is solved. And if it is, I'm going to go backstage and genuinely be delighted with myself and matching my personal best in front of you lovely people here this evening. And if it's not solved, I'm going to go backstage and cry and avoid you all like the plague till I go home. Either way, fingers crossed. Let's see how we did. 22 moves. Did we get it? That looks pretty solved to me. Good. We got there in the end.
Secretly hoping that I didn't screw that up. Is the cube always part of your act?
Yeah, always. I think the cube is so... It's so iconic, right? Everyone knows how difficult they are. I mean, the big secret is you can learn to solve it, right?
Do you think anyone can learn to solve it?
Anyone can learn to solve it. The fastest I've ever done it personally was 10.1 seconds.
Wow.
I got pretty lucky, but when you realize that the world record is currently like 3.1 seconds...
Oh, wow.
Oh, it gets weirder. The guy that has that world record has a girlfriend.
Do you think you're a role model for nerds?
I did a show a couple of years ago, and a mom sent me a picture of their 8-year-old kid's homework where they talked about how proud they were to be a nerd after they'd seen my show. And I'm all for that. I think nerd pride represents all the way.
I love that so much.
Yes.
Well, Tom, it's time to find out if Penn and Teller have puzzled out a solution to your magic trick. Boys?
Well, Tom, this really clicks off a lot of stuff for us. You're just so charming, so funny, and the trick is completely, as far as I know, original. It's just really wonderful and beautiful and all the way through, and we loved everything about it. And when a trick charms us this much, when a performer charms us this much, we really don't give a damn if you fooled us or not. But we are forced to play the game. Sure. May I speak frankly? Because in this case, I don't want to give away the secret, but I don't know how to ask you because there's not really code words for this. Teller and I thought two things that are kind of the same. We thought that the whole secret is the light source. I mean, maybe there's something else beside ultraviolet that could make them glow two different ways. Or we also thought, more likely, that there was an internal light source that looked a lot like the external light source, and you could switch from the internal to the external, and one way it looked unsolved, or that would be the legit way, and the other way made it look solved. If I've given away too much, and this is the way you did it, we will cut this out, so it'll be only the people here that hear it. But has it got to do with the light sources?
It's nothing to do with the light sources.
Nothing at all?
Nothing at all.
Bring the trophy down.
Tom Crosbie!
So good.
Yes. Thank you. Come back and see us. Tom Crosbie fooled Penn and Teller and is walking away with a Fool Us trophy. More magic coming up after this quick break.